I planned differently today. I didn't plan to do this today, but then I dropped children from school, came back home, and these people gave me surprise.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Everybody going. I saw two people on the back. I saw you again. I said, what's going on? Okay, surprise at this point. So I didn't know what was going on. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is James Ifeoluwa, and I'm here together with amazing people. And yes, we came to bundle JAYMIKEE and force him, quote and unquote. No, not force him. We use style.
Reverse psychology is what you use.
to tell him that on days like this, it's always nice to have a moment of reflecting and also bless people. So yes, we have locked him up. You can see that he's not smiling because he's just here to bless people's life and move on with the work that he wants to do. So yes, we'll just be asking quick questions that we believe will bless you as you listen and touch you especially, because as you know, here in the kingdom we believe every content must have a purpose. So the first question is not going to bless you, it's just going to give you an extra information. JAYMIKEE, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Yeah. I don't have a favorite movie. I can't have a favorite movie. I watch movies almost every week, but favorite kind of movie, I can say that one. So favorite kind of movies are movies that kind of make me think a little, not just something on a superficial storyline, something that you would have to think, and after you finish the movie you would think. But of course, while watching the movie, I want my attention to be hooked. If my attention is hooked, it has sprinkles of humor here and there, then it is an intelligent movie. I love those kinds of movies.
All right, thank you. Now let's get to part of the question that will bless.
Was that supposed to be an icebreaker?
I was thinking as Inception or what is it called? Inception or Oppenheimer?
Inception. Oppenheimer. Let's get into movies. Oh, don't worry. We'll leave it for another show of Zion Culture. All
right, so to more serious question.
Inception for the sound, because of the soundtrack. Yeah.
Okay. So we are not into sound, but of course that's sound. So moving on. The first question I would like to ask is that we know you as one of the most dragged persons on social media.
What a nice first question.
And even recently you were mightily dragged. But I'm not going to talk about the dragging. I'm going to talk about how.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for culture shock.
How does a person, or for the context of our discussion, a believer develop tough skin in presenting the truth so that they can stand against bully?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Dragging is not for the faint-hearted. I can say that from experience. It's not for if nobody wants to be dragged, nobody likes being dragged. But I mean, Jesus was dragged through the street with a cross. So at the end of the day, at some point or the other, if you want to stand with Christ, you will be dragged one way or the other. It might not be social media, it might not be on Twitter, it might just be in the midst of your workplace, it might be in your environment. How do you develop a tough skin? The truth of the matter is we need to keep our focus on why we are saying what we are saying. If you are saying something that is not the truth, not a truth, the truth, and you are being dragged for it, you'll be one of the most miserable people on earth, because now you are thinking, is my self-esteem worth this thing that I'm being dragged for? But if it's something that someone died for you over, someone died for you, someone has appointed you and said this is why you exist, and then you are being dragged for it, you will have a thick skin over it. If someone tells you fire, if you drink poison, you'll be fine, and then you put it online, no, if you drink poison you will die, and everybody's saying, how dare you, brat, bastard. See, if you drink poison, you will die. They will drag again. That's why your father is this. That's why Mount Zion is releasing terrible. My brother, if you drink poison, you will die. It's as simple as that. So that's the way. That's the perception I put. That's why if I say something that maybe for some reason I realize that this is not 100% accurate, it's not correct, I will have to go back and tell everybody, I beg guys, no vex, so calm down with the dragging. But if it's one I'm 100% sure of, then drag me from now to tomorrow. Twist my words anyhow you want. Talk about my parents. I've said what I'm going to say, and I'll probably say it again. So, yeah.
Right, thank you so much. So I think I'm going to call Auntie John for his own question, but it's supposed to be very.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Can you share with us how you like?
First of all, this is Zion Culture designer right here, John. John, fantastic brother, is doing a great job with all our thumbnails, and he also has a merch.
Yes, sir.
Right? Yeah. If you had seen, I'm releasing a video today. If this video comes out today, but I'm releasing a video on my birthday, and you will see a shirt I wore there that has Jesus on it. It was designed by this brother right here. So shout out to him. All right. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Share with us how your daily routine is like how each day goes for you.
How each day goes by. For example, now I planned differently today. I didn't plan to do this today, but then I dropped children from school, came back home, and these people gave me surprise. Surprise. So to say that this is how my day is meant to be, but yeah, how does my day go? It depends on the season of the year. Abejoye season is quite different from music video season, quite different from children fun time season, quite different from animation season. So depending on the season, that determines how my day goes. But usually, I started to change how I live this last few. Let me just say, I started this new year of my life on a different slate. Before, of course, when children come, nobody will tell you of the time you're supposed to wake up. So now let me first say how it has been for the past 1 year thereabout. Waking up at 6. Devotion, preparing the child, take them to school, come back. So sometimes I'll go straight to the studio, get some work done. Depending on the nature of the work, it might go on till nighttime, it might go on till evening time. If I'm the one to pick the children, then it has to end by 4. Then I come back home, get some work done at home, and then the one I don't joke with, apart from devotion, is you see that dinner. I might eat in pieces throughout the day. One slice of bread to sharply leave the house, granite I saw on the shelf in Bethel. But you see that dinner, I have to sit down in front of the TV in a relaxed environment. At that point, if you make me stand up for any reason, you will see my other side. Because the world has had me all day. This is me now. So that dinner, I don't joke with it. So I sit down with my plate of food and I eat. If that's the only good meal I eat that day, the day is fulfilled. Yeah.
Okay, so one more question, 2 in 1 actually. As a creative, how do you juggle different skills or together, and then how do you handle creative blocks?
Oh yeah, creator's block. Okay, so the first one, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still in my prayer point that God help me balance this thing, because something will always suffer when there is an attention to one side of me, of one side of my creative departments. The other one will definitely suffer. Right now, I don't want to mention the one that is suffering, so that the people involved in that one will not say, but it's something I'm still praying about, and God has been really faithful, because when people see these things come out, they see music videos, they see the film, they're like, how do you? But to be honest, I'm the one just in my own corner saying, God, I really need your help, and he has been very faithful. And that brings me to the thing I said I'm starting in this new year of my life, such that planning at least a month and then taking it to God in prayer, because you can plan, but if you don't really pray about it, you're just planning. Because that time I would draft my calendar from here to here, I'm going to do this from this day to this day. By the time one other thing comes, scatters everything, it's all gone, so I taking it to God in prayer. And when I mean taking it to God, not just Father help me, being very intentional. So I take out 1 hour now to pray about all the aspects of my life, family, ministry, and in that ministry, okay, the art side, the music side, the animation side, everything. So, and God has been really faithful. So I can't really particularly say this is exactly what I do to accomplish this, because at the end of the day, it's still God that is helping me. But I can say plan, prioritize, and know which one is more important than the other. They can't all be in the same level. One has to be primary, one has to be secondary. One can wait, one cannot wait. For me, Mount Zion cannot wait. So if I'm doing music video, I'm doing drawing, if Daddy Mike should say we are doing this, every other thing has to clear the road, because that's my primary ministry. So that's how I work.
Yeah. Creative
block. Because God is the source of all our inspiration, at the end of the day, it falls back to God. If you are having creative block, there are times when I can say it might not be creative block, but the drive to work. You just do. For example, yesterday, what happened in the morning? I think I went to drop them in school, came back home. I was supposed to work. I was so heavy. I just laid on that couch there, and we're fasting. So being hungry at 12:30, and like so to sit down in front of the computer was like one mountain top. I just laid down, prayed in tongues, slept, phone vibrated to wake me up. I said, okay, let me go and do something. So the solution I got to that was, don't think of everything you need to do. Think of one thing that you need to do, and do that one thing. When you are able to do that one thing, there is a way God keeps driving you to that. Okay, you've done that one, now what's next? But if you think of everything, it gets very overwhelming that you end up not doing anything. So for creative block, at the end of the day, God is our source of inspiration. Whenever I have that sense that I don't know what to do, this advice now can't really work for everybody. If I'm blocked in one aspect of my creative journey, I do another thing. So I've been doing music. I'm stuck, right? I leave music. I go to to drawing or something. Draw for a while. I get stuck. I leave that one. I go to another. So at the end of the day, they can't. The day they all block. Deliverance. That's the day I know I need deliverance. Yeah, but it has never happened before.
What's you?
Happy birthday once again, JAYMIKEE.
Thank you.
So one question is not a serious question. I just wanted to ask.
It's very unserious.
Like I wanted to ask as regarding your experience in your 30s, right? I mean, still, it's not yet.
Inside 30. Yeah.
But
I'm feeling old already.
What was your best experience in your 30s?
Best experience.
Like, there are two, right? Your best day in your 30s and your best experience.
Okay, best day in my 30s. I might not be able to go into the details, but there are things that I've struggled with for years that I got my deliverance from in my 30s. And all thanks to God through my parents and my wife. So I can say things that
I wonder his wife just ran away.
okay. Yeah, so there are things that I've struggled with in my life that, you know, when you think about it, you're like, so am I gonna continue with this, you know, all the way? Sorry, I can't go into the details, you know, but I got the moments that I got the deliverance from those two major things. I could say that those were the best moments ever, you know. And yeah, like I said, all thanks to my family and my wife. So those are the best moments. How has my 30s been? It's not funny. Why did I say it's not funny? Because it's a scam. They will tell you, when you finish school, you'll be free. Do whatever you want. It's a lie. You can't do whatever you want. You know, you can, but you can't. I think about it sometimes. That let me just vex and say, let me just go to the movies and sit down and just watch film. But which time? You have this, you have that, you have this. Before you know, before I was like, man, by the time I reach my 30s, I'll start taking my exercise seriously, you know, let me get fit. Which time? Is it after I drop the children and I will now go to the gym? Or, you know, so all those, and then, you know, like I'm looking at all what I have to do today now. I'm like, God, so when I finish all of this, like, for example, they were like, your birthday is in a few days. That's not even what's on my mind. I'm thinking of all these things that need to be done. So my birthday was like, by the way. That's why I say it's not funny. Responsibilities is a beautiful thing, but it's not funny. But it's beautiful. Beautiful in the sense that you feel responsible. You know, imagine if you're in your 30s and you're not responsible to anything. There's that feeling of, so why am I even here? You know, so that feeling of being responsible is a beautiful thing, but it's not funny in the sense that it will hit you so hard you will understand why people are getting white hair or why some people's hair are receding, you know. So, but other than that, being in the 30s again, on a more serious note, it has made me understand why prayer is important. You know, when you are young, when they say pray 1 hour, pray 2 hours, make sure you pray. What? Where is the battle we are fighting that we have to be praying? You know, but when you reach a certain age, you understand why your parents wanted you to have a lifestyle of prayer, such that when you get to that level where you now realize you need God more than ever before, you will not just be trying to develop that relationship. You will already have that relationship and you are just flowing with it. So it has made me understand why prayer is important, why fellowship with God is important, you know. Why there's so much to say, but let me stop here. I wanted to go into another.
Alright. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
My questions are quite simple. The first question,
his own question was no, his one was on serious. I don't know what yours is simple. Okay.
so the first question is, how does it feel, or how do you feel being a father of 2 now?
I'm still coming to the reality of that. There was a time I forgot. It happens for sometimes. You'll be planning, but with the mindset of one. But what about Judah? Okay, let's do that. So I'm getting to the realization, but it feels good. It feels good because you get to see another variation of God's creation through you. You know, when you have the first and then you are seeing some characteristics and we're giving to compare and we say, okay, this one is from his grandfather, this one is from that, and then we've settled on that. Then another one comes and like, okay, this is another dimension of. So it's a beautiful experience to see. You know, when you look at their eyes and you are like, wow, this is another human being. I was telling that David, I said, another human being that didn't exist before and now suddenly just exists. So it's always, you know, it's a beautiful experience overall. It's a beautiful experience.
Alright, so the second question is, have there been times when probably you are writing your lyrics or you are mixing your songs that you just be like, had it been I knew this thing back then, it would have been better? Have there been times like
Okay. Song lyrics is always a who was I telling that? Okay, it was David. I don't like writing lyrics. Some people are like, but you have so many songs. Yes, I do, but it's not fun. Writing lyrics is not fun. Producing song is fun because you can experiment. Producing a sound, you can just experiment on anything. You can slap 2 metals together and then follow the beat, and then you're just flowing, and then like, oh, this makes sense. Or you can, play a chord and like, oh, how about if I just try this chord? How about? No one can really criticize you because it's art. But you can't say it's art for lyrics. You can't just, except when chanting. I can chant. Because chant, you just express yourself. You just flow. You tap into the unknown and you go. But lyrics, you have to be, there's a lot of thought process that goes into lyrics. A lot of arranging, a lot of trying to see, does this sentence make sense? And then there's something else that I recently started doing more than I used to do before, is making sure that the way the words are said is similar to how it is sung. Does that make sense? For example, now, if I'm going to say, Father help me, right? Father help me. It's going down. I will not put the tone to be So it will be Father help me or something like that. Not Father help me. I won't. So it's something I just learned that, okay, so that people can hear you faster. Let the tone follow the. Yeah. So that's something and there are many other things that I've learned along the way. I really envy people that can just sit down still and just come up with lyrics. But yeah, what else again have I known now that I don't know before? Okay, I think part of my issue was, which is something that it will happen to you by force as you grow older. You see the sitting still. I can only sit still when I'm seeing the software dancing around in my eyes. But you see, sitting still to get something from nothing, right? It's something that I'm learning as I grow older. And I think, yes, writing lyrics, I'll confess, is easier now than back then. Because now I can sit still more than I could before as a single brother. So, no offense to the single brother. So, yeah.
One brother like this that will not mention his name.
Who mentioned his name?
Celebrity photographer.
Celebrity photographer.
He doesn't want to show, but he asks question.
Who doesn't want his face to show, but likes to show people's face? That's the question.
I'm ready to you, sir. So my question is, as a creative person, yeah, I know, and you have like multiple expressions. In a bid to develop your creative aspects, there's a tendency to like stretch yourself to that place, and stretch yourself to that place and abandon your spiritual part. So I'll just strike a balance with that, where you are stretching yourself to be better in your creative abilities, and also striking a balance with making progress with your spiritual life.
You know, yeah, this is something that I'm taking more intentional in my walk with God in this new year of mine. And I didn't wait till I clocked this age to start. It started days before my birthday, and that is when you see your relationship with God as a do or die affair. You won't struggle to maintain it. For example, if you are in a situation where you need to take drugs every day, or else I don't want to say something very graphic, but if it's a situation where if you don't take your pills, you know, and sit still for 1 or 2 hours a day, if you step outside without doing that, let's say, you know, your entire insides come out. That's the medical condition that you have. If that's the case, would you say, I worked yesterday, I'm too tired, I have to? You won't care. In fact, a very much more simpler example: no matter how busy you are in this life, no matter how busy you are in any situation, if like let the president be at the other room and it's almost time to see the president, if call of nature calls you in a massive way, I have to add that in a massive way, because you know there's some call of nature you can still endure, but this one, it's the call, not a call, the call. There's nobody you will go, right? So if we can answer the call of nature, why can't we answer the call of God? It is God. So if you see it that way, because that's the way I'm seeing it now, because I mean, a lot of things have happened to me now this last couple of years. I felt so. I thought I was a Christian. I thought a child of God. I thought I was fortified. But these things happen. I realized it's because I wasn't taking that work as serious as I should. So now it's no more a matter of I pray when I need to pray. Now is I need to pray every day for a certain number of hours. I need to pray. I need to. So if we put it that way, no matter how busy you are, even though you are trying to meet up to a certain standard in work, when you know that if this one fails, every other thing in my life will fail. When you see it that way, when we see it that way, that if this one fails, every other aspect of my life will fail, then that every other aspect of my life will definitely wait for this one to be done before I pick it up.
Thank you so much, sir. One last question.
Yeah.
What would you say to a 20-year-old creative Joshua McBamluye?
What did I do when I was 27? Let me think. 20 years old, 10 years ago, that was 2000 and wait, I was 23 in 2014. I was in Bowen. 2011. I was in 300 level or 200 level or so. I don't remember again. But yeah, what I'll say to him is keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep doing what you're doing. I think lucky for me, there were not too many producers out there who were very prominent that I could begin to look at and say, why can I not? The people I were looking at, those outside the country, was Hans Zimmer and co. So I'm like, where am I running to? I will get, these people were doing like so great stuff, and I was just starting. So I would say keep doing what you are doing. 20-year-old JAYMIKEE. I wasn't even called JAYMIKEE then. You know, keep doing what you are doing. Keep developing. I would actually tell him to take his work with God more seriously. You will have less mistakes. Yeah, because I made a lot of mistakes. I would say you have less mistakes if you take. Your creativity is not everything. Your talent, your gift, your value is not in how much gift you have. It's how much of God you have. I will tell him that. Yeah, I'm sure if I tell him that, he will take me more seriously. He will like, for my future self to be saying it, hey, yeah. So I will tell him that.
Thank you so much, sir. I was going to add a question to that, but I think that's a very wonderful place to call it. Was what I was going to ask. I think that answers it. Or should I still ask?
You can still ask.
Okay, so one of the things that comes with being a minister's child is pressure to perform. So how do, for our viewers, how do they handle it? Because there are some people that they want to express gift in this way, but there's an assumption that if you're a lady, you must be a good singer. If you're a guy, you must know how to play every instrument. You cannot do this. So how do they undo it such that they are still productive? Because we don't want to go to the other extreme where the person does not contribute to the ministry. Yes.
Yeah. At the starting point, many people might not believe in what you are doing, especially when you are just starting. But I would just encourage you that don't go in the direction of everybody. Don't. In fact, whatever thing you think you have interest in, don't try to copy what everybody is doing right now. It is very important for you to understand your print, your footprint, your fingerprint, the fingerprint that God has given you. You need to understand it and develop it. You see, when you get to a certain point, there are many people who have developed something so well that because of how good or how high God has placed them, they drive the trend such that others are now trying to go in that direction. So you might be doing something now and people are like, you're not supposed to be doing this because you are this, but don't let that discourage you. Dig into the identity God has given you. Don't feel I don't like saying don't feel pressure, because like, JAYMIKEE said I should not feel pressure. All right, let me switch off the pressure switch. There's pressure comes, right? But convert that pressure into motivation to do what God has designed you to do. All right. And some people might say, what if I don't know what God has designed me to do? Fine. What are you doing right now? That's when you are not doing anything. Find something to be doing right now. That thing you have found to do, have you dug deep into, if it is let's say if it is computer, for example, you want to do media thing, you like media stuff. How much of that media stuff do you know? Dig into it. There is always something that the world is yet to see, and it could be you who will introduce it to the world. You don't know. So dig into it, get better at it, get better at your craft. By the time you eventually break out of that surface, and then people begin to thank God for your life, it's those people that have probably criticized you when you are still below the surface. So see it as a foundation stage. Nobody understands the foundation until it begins to rise.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
This has been clap.
Woo! To the glory of God. To God.
So this has been a very wonderful conversation. We are sure that you have been blessed. We are sure that you have gained value. And of course, from us at Zion Culture, you know that we always give out value. So like I say, everywhere.
It's our culture.
It's our culture. so like I say, as a believer, everywhere you go, remember to represent the Zion culture. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful night. Together, we say happy birthday, Jay. Happy birthday.